Hey everybody, welcome back to Valheim featuring Epic Loot. Last episode we took down the Elder. We also found Haldor, who's actually right next to the Elder, like you can actually see in my shot right here, the Elder summoning temple's over there. I did a separate video kind of covering their interaction. Not a huge deal of interaction, to be honest. But anyway, also we got a couple items, got our first legendary. It's a tower shield. I'm not a huge fan of tower shields, but the rolls on it are actually pretty solid. So I'll probably mess around with it a little bit more until I get a better parrying shield, or a little bit better, like a buckler, basically. And I think that's pretty much it. So our primary goal for this episode is going to be to find the next biome, the swamp. We need to find some swamp, preferably close to our base, so that we can get iron back easily. I don't think there's any on our... Well, I haven't really circled our starting island yet, but pretty close. But we're going to start... well, let me pull up the map and get into this, and then I'll tell you where we're going to start. I already did a little loop around the this island here with the merchant, just in case I could see some swamp. I didn't see any swamp off the coast of anything. We have a portal down here, like a scouting portal. I popped through that, didn't see any swamp kind of down this way. But our base is up here at the top. So probably what we're going to do is pop through to where our base is, drop our boat there. It's going to involve some sailing, but I'm not going to make this episode into like a Waterworld length show. I'll probably include you for the first few minutes if I talk about anything significant, and then I'll cut to just important parts, hopefully finding some swamp. But we're going to start close to our base and then see what's north of there, circumnavigate the island, etc. But more on that later. The other part of that is getting into the swamp, not just for locating the next boss, but also to get some iron back into our back to our base, so we can smelt it into iron and learn some more recipes. Now, just to remind you, the rules that we're using for Epic Loot is that smell from the swamp. Well, that's interesting. I'm in this bubble, but okay. Yeah. So that's interesting. The secondary thing that we want to do is we want to learn recipes, because the rule set we're using for Epic Loot is that we have to know the recipe in order to get the related drops. So once we learn how to craft iron mace, iron sword, iron pick, etc., right? Then we can start getting those items to drop from the creatures that we fight. And then obviously we want to try to locate the boss. We need a Vegvasir. Those are only going to be in the crypts that are in the swamp. So it's not really just finding swamp, it's about finding those crypts. But that's really the primary goal. And really the main goal of the episode. The secondary goal, the reason why I'm standing in front of Haldor here, is because there's a couple items that he has for sale. And so we're going to try gambling. So in Epic Loot, if you talk to Haldor, you get this extra screen, has stash items you can buy, has items you can gamble for. Now, we don't have a lot of bounty tokens yet. We've got a couple over in the box, but not enough to gamble on anything really good. So what we are going to do is we're going to gamble on this stag breaker, because my currently rolled stag breaker is, just really so-so. It's whatever dropped. It's got, a tiny bit of fire damage, like 1 point of fire damage on it. It's not great. I could really hope, the odds of getting a magic item, 69%, could be rare, epic, legendary, whatever. I'm hoping to get throwable and recalling on it, because that would just be the best thing to get on a stag breaker. But we're going to gamble for one stag breaker, and then we're going to gamble for a gold ruby ring. So a gold ruby ring it's not just jewelry. It'll be again, there's a very tiny, a 10% chance it'll be non-magical. Most likely it'll be magical or rare, and that will come with some magic bonuses on it. It's going to take up the same slot as the MnkeELA. The MnkeELA is good for carrying stuff, but while I'm just running around fighting things, it would be nice if I could get another bonus. Hit points would be good, you know, something along those lines. So it's some sort of resistance or whatever would be great. So those are the two things I'm going to gamble for while there's 12 minutes left. And then we're going to hop on a boat and start going after our primary goal. Sorry for the distraction with the swamp stuff. You know what happens. That's how the nature of this game. If we were playing... Anyway, I'm going to gamble for these things and then we'll talk more. So Stagbreaker. I already have gold in my inventory, so... That was a non-magical Stagbreaker. I hit the 10% lottery. Okay. It is what it is. Gold ruby ring. Yes. Okay. Legendary. Sweet. So, legendary is the highest roll. Again, there's a 1% chance to get that, right? It came with 4 rolls, which is actually the minimum for legendary, right? So, magic, rare, epic, legendary. That's the minimum rolls that each one will have. Magic will have 1, rare 2, etc. 50 stamina is pretty good, though, and 25 health is really good. The Ida regen doesn't matter right now because we're not... in the Mistlands, we haven't unlocked Ida yet, which is like mana, energy. And the piercing damage reduction, also really good. And the reason why... Wow, that's actually a really good ring. The 15% piercing damage reduction means if I get shot by one of these stupid skeletons or anything that's doing piercing damage, Draugr, right? It'll take 15% off that damage right off the top. So that's really useful because that's one of the things that will kill you most often. The 50 stamina is huge. It's like just eating 50 stamina and 25 hit point food, and I can eat food on top of that. So the MnkeELA is great. It'll be good for carrying ore out of the dungeon, right, once you've killed everything. But this ring is amazing. It's actually one of the better items that I've seen. We have some amber to sell to this guy. So again, you just sell off your amber stuff. Wow, what a good roll. It's a shame I didn't get throwable recalling. I have it. I have a throwable recalling Stagbreaker on a different character on the playthrough I'm doing with my wife. I can't talk about that weapon enough. It's such a fun weapon to throw at things and watch them take AoE damage. It's one of the best mods. Okay. Well, that was accomplished. I'm going to grab a couple of these guts that were around here. Just so I can... Entrails, I'm sorry. Whatever. You get the point. And then we're going to pop back home. Bank all of our junk. Okay, that wasn't really the magic of the internet. I just kind of paused things and popped over and knocked down one of those trees over there. So we've got our carve here, and what I was talking about earlier is you want to make sure that you have mats for a portal. So, 20 fine wood, 2 Surtling cores, 10 Grey Dwarf eyes. Not that we couldn't come across some of that stuff later, but if you run into issues, we don't have a friend that can come and bail us out. So if we run into issues, we want to be able to ram ourselves ashore and yeah. And I'm running right into the wind here, of course. We want to be able to ram ourselves ashore and be able to throw down like some sort of a portal or whatever to get out. Now, during the day, I noticed there was a island or something across the way here. So we're going to get a little bit of wind at our backs and sail north to kind of see how it looks. If it's not swamp, it's probably not swamp, but if, I don't remember how, if swamp has to start a certain distance from us, but it's probably not swamp. It looked like sort of mountainy, so that's probably what it's going to be. If it doesn't seem apparent that they're swamped, then we're going to start circling our island. So we've still got, a lot of this world to explore. I'm going to focus on sailing though, because it is nighttime. I don't know what criteria is going to cause the sea serpents to spawn at this point, but I got to keep a really wary eye, especially going out into the ocean. See, there's an island over in that direction. There's an island right in front of me, too. But I want to keep the wind at my back. I'd like to actually stay in, like, see, it says I'm in the meadows right now, still on my map, so I'd like to stay in a place that's not the ocean. Because I'm not a big fan of sea serpents, particularly because we're so vulnerable. Looks all kinds of mountainy, rocky. Nothing major. I mean, it's just really, this is more meadows. So, okay, well, we're going to keep a little bit of wind with us right now. We're just going to stick with the wind for a moment. That's an important thing when you're looking on your little wheel here, your wind dial. If the wind is hitting your boat in that little black part of the circle, then basically the wind is hitting your sails. You're not going to have any speed whatsoever. You kind of want to keep it. You want to keep it coming in from the sides, from the rear. You know, all that's fine. The I think you get the most speed from the. You can kind of see the color coding on the circle, like the brightest parts. But sometimes you have to tack back and forth, depending on how the wind's going and depending on what's chasing you and the terrain. So we're gonna start tacking back to the south because I kind of wanted to scout stuff near our island. You can see I kind of lost the wind. If you do start going right into the wind, basically you just pull your sail back up, or I say drop sail, but you pull your sail back up to go back down to a paddle, and then, you know, cut back over until again you're in the good part of the wind. So you can see now the wind is nice and bright. We've got a good part of the wind there. And this is going to be a lot of zigzagging, probably, you know, until we get lucky and get the wind at our back or whatever. We're heading kind of right back down to our island, actually back down to the starting area. So I don't expect to find anything right here that's going to be major. We are in the ocean now. So the other thing we're going to, if we happen across, sorry, I'm just looking at checking out the water, is there will be giant leviathans out in the water that you can happen upon. You can pick them for some materials. That'd be another nice thing that, you know, I'd like to get the recipe for, like, the abyssal razor, the harpoon, stuff like that, so that item can drop. That would be another reason to sort of venture out into the water. But it's also risky. I mean, this is I feel, you know, at this point I kind of seem like, you know, anxious because being in the ocean is the greatest opportunity for me to die and end up with a corpse hanging out here in the water, and that's we don't have enough mats to really recover from that right now. Not very easily. There is something over this way. I'm gonna, well, oh, that's a leviathan. That's two leviathans. Okay. Not super excited about that, but okay. So leviathans are the things that you can pick things off of. I do have lots of stamina because of that ring, but I'm like pedaling into the wind. I'm just hoping that, like, you know, a sea serpent spawn isn't near here either. So yeah. We are going to run into one of these, and oh good, daytime would help us too. We're gonna bump into one of these. So what happens is you get up on top of one of these, you got to pick these I forgot what they're called, mollusks or whatever. You got to basically chip these things off of them, And after beating on them for a bit, they will kind of get upset and dive back under the water. And then you got to get back on your boat. So it's particularly risky when your swimming skill is terrible. Okay, that gave us our recipe. He's not totally mad yet. Get a couple more. And eventually he's going to get super mad. We're just going to get off when he does. Nope. Wait. No, he's awfully clear. Yeah, he's yeah. We're done with that guy. So we're gonna paddle over to the other guy. Well, it was a good opportunity to get some of these things. Usually you only get one. You don't get two right next to each other. It's a good location. I'll probably mark it. And then this is how you are able to make the Abyssal Razor, which is a really good dagger. And you can get the Harpoon, which allows you to drag creatures. You can use it for more than just the... I'm going to hit one of these first here. You can use it for more than just dragging the sea serpent to shore, but that's one of the main things you can do it for. You can also use it to, like, drag boars, for example, if you need to position them, if you're like capturing them or throwing them in a pit or whatever the deal is. I'm going to get my stamina back up here because nothing would be worse than this guy submerging with no stamina available. It's not upset yet, but I think he'd be happy we're cleaning these barnacles off. Okay. Well, this is creepy. Yeah, Abyssal Barnacle. Go figure. Okay. This is the most I've ever seen. This is lull me into a false sense of security here. Okay, we're gonna call that good. Well, maybe not. I thought that was it. I thought he was done. But honestly, I mean, we got 52 of those things. Oh, yeah. I guess that's it. I guess that started the countdown timer. It looks like. Okay, well. Good location. I think I'll mark it. No. Okay. And we'll continue on our way. So that was a good find. I'm gonna start jumping ahead in case I'll unpause it when significant things start happening. But I'm gonna start jumping ahead to expedite this process, and I'll clue you in when I find some swamp or anything else significant, or if I end up being chased by sea serpents. All right. Okay, so I just came out of like a really bad storm, and I wanted to unpause it here because you see up ahead, there's all of this like flat, broken sort of land and stuff on the right. We're actually down pretty far south around our starting island. I went through some stupid narrow channel up here, like I'm scraping the bottom, So I don't think I'm going to go back that way. But this looks like that's sort of, to me, the telltale signs of what swamp would be, with all these just flat, broken land. And no, there may be some over on this side too. No, that's more like hills and stuff. But this looks like, that looks like what swamp would be up ahead, usually. And then eventually the trees will come in. Okay, well, that's not swamp, that's black forest. But kind of this stuff over to the left, you can kind of see, like, ahead of us there. Gives me the impression that we should be looking... You want to look for, like, decrepit trees and stuff like that. That's if you're kind of scouting it out from a distance. You typically don't want to get, like, super close, because there's, like, leeches and stuff like that. So if this is swamp on our island, we're going to, like, circle around. Yeah, see these dead trees up here? We're going to actually... We're not going to... So, hold on, let me stop again for a second. Let me back up for a second before I... Just so I can make a decision here. So yeah, so this was like scraping the bottom. Like if there had been a troll or something there, I would have had a big issue. There's some rocks and junk over here too. It wasn't too bad of a sailing. This is like one giant, looked like one giant landmass over here. But we're going to go and we're just going to keep sailing around and see if this is like a big, like a swampy peninsula or something. Particularly because the wind, we've got the wind at our back kind of thing to sort of give us a good push. So we're going to, looks like there is some swamp over here on the left too. There's swamp on the right and swamp on the left. I don't really like storms right now, but one of the mods we're using that I've mentioned before is Fog of War. And if it's rainy or foggy, your field of vision that you reveal on the map gets shrunk. But also when it's clear, your field of vision on the map is larger. There's settings you can tweak and stuff like that. But I really like the mod for sort of that ability to, like, you don't have to be necessarily scraping the shoreline to get it added to your mini-map. Yeah, there's it looks like a little bit of swamp over on the west. I can see some green stuff there and some swamp over here. We're also looking to see if we can see any... I see like a dock. I don't see any... You're looking for like green lights, not those big glowy lamps, not those big glowy bulb things. You're looking for like green lights that are usually on the outline of crypts. So that was... I just want to make sure I'm not going into like plains or something, because that would be really bad. No, that's not... I think that's meadows. That's definitely meadows over there. And this looks like meadows over here. I was a little bit worried it was plains, but that's way too many trees, and those are not birch trees. The meadows are full of birch trees. Not meadows. Plains are full of birch trees. Meadows have, you know, the regular trees and also a few birch trees. So, okay. Well... We're just going to sail on a little bit farther, and then we're either going to double back or something to kind of see if we're... Yeah, so this is the example of, you can see, if you're looking at my mini-map now, or if you're looking at this, you can see it's very narrow now, the exploration, because we've entered the fog. You can see it's really tight, whereas back here it was really wide. It's kind of a cool feature. Makes sense, right? You can't really see much of anything. I feel like I'm pretty close to the land. I can see some trees there, but not very many. Man, I'm hoping we're gonna run out of some island here. Can't see a dang thing. Okay, well, we may actually be past... I'm gonna cut it this way a little bit, because I don't see any trees anymore. Spooky. I mean, we could run aground at any moment, but I see some trees off to my right, like a little bit. I'm not going super fast. This is some of the densest fog I've ever seen. See something up ahead there, but now I'm getting a little worried. Whew. Man. Okay, well. Oh, geez. Well, there's a rock. And now that I think about it, I mean, this could be bad because if there's like, we're just like gonna run blind into some plains or something, that would be bad. Kind of need to get out of this fog. Oh, oh. Fog's breaking up. Oh, hey. Just in time. Broke up just in time. Woo. All right, no planes. Well, that's good. But now we're like way past. We're like way past the swamp. So I'm just gonna. I think I'm just. We're either gonna find the bottom of this island, or we're gonna have to double back. But this is what happens. I mean, I suppose there's nothing that prevents this from just going on and on, but let's see. Maybe that's the end up there. Yeah, man. Or maybe we're going to go back into the fog. Yeah, really narrow area where we had fog there. So, yeah. Can't believe this island is that big. All right, we're going to jump forward. Okay. I think I found the southern tip. I just, bounced a few minutes ahead, per se. Just kind of paused it and jumped forward. So that looks like the bottom. We're going to come up here and see if there's... Oh, we're dead in the water. We're going to try to get the wind back. There we go. Or maroon ourselves. There we go. If nothing else, even if the swamp isn't on this side of the island, even if it's just over on that eastern side of the island, as long as there's enough of it, man, it's wind. As long as there's enough of it, I mean, that looked maybe promising. It's at least worth exploring, but since it's on our own island, if there's enough of it that we can get some iron out of it, we can leave our boat over here and trek across land. That's not as big of a deal. Like I said, I don't necessarily... Can't see what that is up ahead. I don't necessarily want to sail back through this narrow channel here. I'd have to maybe go and dig it out to make it work. So we'll see. I'm definitely not going to run stuff overland, all the way overland back up to the base. Although it is kind of funny, I had considered putting a base down here originally. That's where my original base is. That's where my original base is, up here, and actually contemplated running around here saying, oh yeah, this is maybe a good spot or whatever, kind of thing. But it is what it is. Actually, there's... Yeah. So there is a little bit of swamp up here. So maybe this is all part of the same swath going across. If that's the case, well, even if it's not the case, we're just going to go on. We're just going to get past to the other side of the swamp, and then we're going to. Oh, I can get my sail back in place. We're going to get on the safe side, the base side, if you will, of the swamp, in case something happens and we got to do a run back or whatever. And we're going to put our portal over on that side. But this is pretty sizable. I did not see... There was no planes down here. I can't remember when I paused the thing. I also didn't really want to go back into the fog, so I'm glad that there's a bottom to this island and it didn't keep going. Because I kind of afraid I was going to get back into the fog area. Well, we're about to kind of go back into the... No, we're not. I thought we were going to lose the wind, but we still have the wind. Kind of want to get a little bit closer so I could see if there's any crypts in this area. But I can't imagine it, you know. I mean, it's kind of looks like kind of a narrow strip, I guess, but you know, still a good size. A good. This should at least be okay. Maybe there's more than I thought, because I thought this was the end. Oops. And the wind is changing. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna put in. That's actually kind of hilarious. I wonder if this was. Can't remember if I was over here. Like I think I a long time ago I either saw, maybe I've seen this over here. I don't remember if I saw this down here before, but it's kind of funny that we were actually really close, like really close, when we were scouting the other side of those trees over there for stuff. I don't remember seeing any swamp down here before. That would have been nice to know. I mean, it's nice where we put our base because it was real close to copper and it was on the coast and stuff like that. But it also, I mean, because I think there's meadows that go all the way down to the water here. I could have put a base down here, copper, whatever, right? Being really close to the biomes to be able to bring the ore back to them and stuff like that is a pretty good benefit. Whatever. I mean, we're where it's at now anyway. You know, our base is where it is. But this actually looks like a pretty good landing spot. It's not a really thick... I mean, there's definitely some bad guys over there. But it's not a really thick... not a really thick black forest area. Looks like we can... Yeah. We're going to drop our portal in, put our boat in right over here, and put our portal in right over here as well. I feel like that's close enough. I don't want to, like, get to the point where we're risking... Yeah. Come on. Oh, I need to eat food. Yeah. Okay. I never, oh, that's right, we picked it up. I'm like, why am I carrying all this chitin? Okay, I'm gonna get out in the water here and get this boat, back to shore. Oops. Okay, great. And then we want to quickly get our... We want going to quickly get that workbench down and then get our portal up. Now, this has no name, so it should default connect up to our no-name portal at home. And there we go. We're relatively safe. Sailing sometimes can be stressful, particularly solo. You know, you run into, I was in storms, and I did not see any sea serpents. We're gonna go and dump our chitin back at the base. Let's scout a little bit first and see what we can see before we go breaking stuff down and committing ourselves to this area. Especially because it's daytime. If we see a crypt, that's going to be the sign that we stay here. Okay, so right ahead of us. I don't know if you can tell, but I can tell from the cut. In the cut part of that building right there, that's a crypt right there. Yeah, gray dwarves and that dude fighting it out. What I tend to like to do is I tend to like to level the ground out to wherever, you know, if I need we're going to have to sail out of here. Eventually I want to have a portal, like I said, that I can move from crypt to crypt. But where we're at right now, we kind of just want to get in there, get some ore out of there. And see, there's a lot of undead over there. There's a lot of Draugr and stuff. They beat up all those Grey Dwarfs. I don't want to fight with those guys right now. But normally I would level the ground on my way. This also surfaces the leeches so that they can't... Yeah, he ran in the swamp. So see these guys right here? Now, Stagbreaker is also great for dealing with these guys. Ow. Yeah. That's one thing I forgot to grab as well. Was the poison resist. That's okay. Sweet. So I do have some poison resist back at the base. I was, you know, made the mead, and it's important to have that definitely for the boss fight itself. But I would normally say, being in here, it's definitely important to. Oh, son of! It's important because these guys will poison you as well. Now I've got Stagbreaker, and that makes really short work of these uses. Oh, another magic pick, and it's got more durability. So great. It's kind of like a, you know, a good way to be able to dig up a lot of stuff at the same time. Now nighttime's going to come, and this place is going to get even crappier. See, there's already dudes running around trying to be aggro-y, per se. But doing that technique right there... Yeah, I know there's one behind me. Is doing that technique is how I kind of keep the leeches cleared out. Ooh, yeah, that was my mistake. We do have a lot of hit points, so Jesus Christ! All right, well, it's a good thing I didn't come over here with just a portal or whatever. So, all right, let's get this thing open up. That's an abomination, in more ways than one. Yeah. So we do want to kill him because he's got some mats that we can get out of him. But at this point, we really just want to get, like I said, some iron out of here. Withered bone. That's how you summon the other boss. We're gonna do the same thing here as we did in the other ones. We're gonna sort of check. See that yellow there? That's something taking crit damage. Now, the Draugr, I don't think, take crit damage. Right? I do think they take regular damage. The oozes will take crit damage. Okay, there's nothing over there. Okay. Like that. The cool thing is that the muddy scrap piles are like... That's where you get your iron scrap from. I mean, not the best cool thing, but, you know. As long as you're digging, usually you'll wind up with some iron ore. There we go. Scrap iron. So now we're going to have to bring that back by hand. And I'm just looking around. See, I hear noises over here, so I'm guessing there's a... Oh, yep. There is. All right. We had him mostly dead. Okay. So we're gonna have to run probably from that Abomination thing. I don't feel equipped right now to take him out. I thought there was gonna be a sweet magic stag, you know, like a good roll stag record. Chain, that's something good to bring back. Oh man, look at that. 18 scrap iron already, like in that chest. That's already like amazing, and also overloads us and means that we're gonna have to switch to our. Oh, we didn't bring the Imagine Org. Go figure. So what we're gonna do in the meantime, because we want to bring back that scrap, that'll give us more than enough to make the bars to build the giant, the biggest ship basically, and I guess we'll leave, since we know we're going to come back here, we're going to leave this pick. Is that going to cut enough weight? That's not going to cut enough weight. Yeah, we're going to have to consider... Here, I'm going to switch to that, because poison damage reduction. We're going to have to consider leaving a little bit of this scrap behind. I think we only need like 5 iron bars to be able to make the boat. We need like, you know, like 100 nails or whatever, 80 or 100 nails. Oh wait, I can tell you right now. Oh, maybe I can't tell you right now because I don't have the nails. Yeah, I haven't made the nails yet. Yeah, we'll have to leave something behind here. I guess we could leave this guy. I think we only need to leave a little bit. Oh, yeah. We don't need to leave that behind. We'll leave 2 behind. We'll take a stack of 20 back. So yeah, I don't feel like fighting the Abomination right now. This gives us the iron we need to get some recipes, so we can get some stuff off of our drops. It would be nice to kill the Abomination, but it's nighttime. Or it's just getting to be nighttime, and oh man. It's a fight I wasn't necessarily anticipating dealing with right now. He's not the worst to deal with, I suppose. I mean, I do have an axe, but not really what not a fight I had anticipated undertaking right now. I mean, yeah, we could just get out of here. Well, let's see what happens. It's not fully nighttime yet. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. There. I'm not sure if I can withstand his swings. Okay. That wasn't the worst. That wasn't the worst swing I've ever done. I need to change my keybind. I normally... It's alright. Oof. Yeah, that was a bad hit. Oof. That one I cannot withstand. Ah, man. Okay. Here. I'm really gonna swap those. Well, we can dance around this building at least. Until I get my hit points back up. That was a close one. I'd say piece of cake, but it's a little too soon to celebrate. And sometimes he just wanders off. Man, it's so annoying. Well. Come on. Yeah. Huh. Oh, can't pick up whatever that is. Go figure. Yeah, because I'm full. We're going to ditch this wood right here, and then I'll pick up whatever that is. Oh, another pickaxe. Really? Another pickaxe. Okay. All my hit points are back up, so... Oof. My hit points are back down. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh, that was the... Not the good one. Sorry about that swearing, by the way. Doesn't really take any piercing damage. It's really the fire damage that's doing it to him. Okay, don't die all the way over there. Come on. Seriously. Alright, let me see if there's any ancient bark. There's an ancient bark there. Oh, that's another thing we need for that boat. I just remembered. We need ancient bark. Okay, now it's nighttime. Which also means that wraiths can show up, and those guys are not cool. They usually hang out up in trees and will float down and be very unkind. Just trying to draw them back over here. Usually that blue reflection is... Whoa. Oh, man. Knocked me again. Come on, burn. There we go. Woo. Oh, alright. So he's going to drop some stuff that, of course, I'm going to want to pick up. Again, for recipe learning purposes. I thought I saw, like, a fire or something over there, but I don't see it now. Like a circling fire or something, but maybe not. Well, oh yeah, totally forgot. I brought a couple minor healing meads with me, of course. That's usually what happens. I forget that I have that stuff on me. We're going to get rid of those eyes. There we go. Gives us access to the root armor. Something very glowy on the other side over there. I don't think it's a torch. Maybe it's a... No, it is. Still one torch left. Okay. So we're going to mark this crypt on our map. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to throw this ore on the ground for a second. And grab... Basically get ourselves like 10 wood. And the reason why is I'm going to make a workbench. Just put it right here. That'll block spawns. Okay. I do see wraith. There was a wraith over there. I saw him up kind of in the air. See him there? He's kind of on the other side, kind of floating around. Right there. You can see him in between the trees. We're not going to mess with him. I already got chains out of that one chest that we were messing with. So we're going to head back. We're going to head back, jump on our boat, take all that stuff back. I do think I want to pick up a piece of gook. I don't remember if that is going to get me any recipes that are important, but I'll just grab that gook anyway. The workbench will also stop things from despawning in case we want to pick some of that stuff up. But we're going to call this a pretty good win here. And then we're going to get the heck out of here. Running along the relatively flat land that I leveled out. Oh, jeez. Okay, well. Here's all the Grey Dwarves. Jeez. Oh, that's the moon. I was like, I thought it was a lich coming up from behind. I just want to make sure none of these guys are, like, starred, because that would hurt me more. I really don't want to be fighting these Grey Dwarves right now. I just kind of want to get out of here, because I don't even have room for all the stuff that they might drop. Now, I want to leave this portal, because that's what we're going to come back through. But that also means I gotta take care of these guys. Yeah. He actually got me poisoned that time. Usually I'm pretty good about dodging that stuff. Okay. We would appear to be free of the... I don't see any Grey Dwarves around here at this point. See, we can't go through the portal. If you play this game, you're familiar with that. The ore that we're carrying prevents us from going through. That's okay. We're going to leave. First, we're going to repair our boat, just in case. It's in pretty good shape, actually. And then we're going to crouch here for a second and look at our map. Still pretty far from home. That's fine. We're going to leave that portal there for now. And actually, we're going to name it, I'm going to name it Swamp. The reason why is if for some reason I decide, like, we're going to sail, I'm pretty confident other than this little tidbit right here, that we're not going to run into any swamp, at least on our island, on the way back to our base. Because we're going to sail up this way. This actually looks like it's the closest route now to our base. I'm going to eat some food. But yeah, so I'm going to start sailing now. And I'm going to change it to Swamp. And then when we get back to our base, we'll rename it. And then that way we'll have our no-name portal. For when we come back through the swamp, we'll bring another set of portal mats with us. So we'll need to get a little bit more fine wood. We'll be able to get so we'll come back with nails for the giant boat next time. We'll be able to, we can get rid of this boat, basically retire it, use the nails from this boat for the wagon, for the cart, and then we'll bring enough nails. We'll get some more withered wood or ancient bark from out of the swamp. Oh, I can start beating feet. I'm trying to, like, head back because I don't really want to lose the iron that I have right now. So I'm going to kind of be sticking mostly to the coast. But then again, if I can see something across the way, it would be nice to find some iron, maybe a little closer to home. Now that maybe it's clearing up a little bit. I don't know if you can hear my cat wailing in the background, but that's happening too. I guess this is what I saw. See, it was just mountains. I was wondering if I tried to convince myself that maybe I had seen some swamp from what I had explored before, but it was just mountains. But that's it. That's, just the first taste of the swamp. It's definitely intimidating at first, just because, we only have the gear that we beat the Elder with, and sometimes, getting into a new zone, particularly with the night spawns and stuff like that can jump on you, it's clearly doable, and it's kind of giving you the experience of, like, that added stress of, like, hey, I've got to carry all of this stuff, and if I die, if you die on your boat, there's nobody that's gonna, that can sail out there, you know, sail your naked self out there to pick up your gear. You gotta, you know, make sure that you can do it on your own kind of thing. Now that we have foothold in the swamp, I have thoughts about what we're going to be doing. You know, obviously we need to be finding the Vegvasir for Bonemass. That's going to be part of what we're doing in going into those crypts. The other part of going into those crypts is pulling out lots of iron, because we need to upgrade a lot of things at our base so we can craft more stuff. Obviously we need the nails for the boat, and you know, etc. I think this is going to give us access to crafting with stone, because we're going to be able to make a like, I think it's like a wheel or whatever the deal is, like an iron plate or something to give us the ability to. Oh, we could, yeah, it's definitely clear the rest of the way, because I was going to say, because this is where okay, sweet. So yeah, so we're going to have to dig a bunch of iron out. The nice thing about having epic loot is once we've learned some iron, we'll learn some item recipes. So then, as we're going through and clearing these things out, we have the chance to get drops for whatever recipes we've learned. So we'll get back. I don't recall if grabbing those razor things, if that taught us the abyssal razor or not, but that would be an item that could be in the loot table. If I recall correctly, it's going to be like the mace, the sword, the pickaxe, and stuff like that. I think we've gotten pretty much all those materials. Obviously, root armor from killing that abomination. All those things will be added to the drop table for creatures now that we've learned those recipes, or once we do learn those recipes from smelting that iron. Well, we're probably going to have to craft some stuff. Obviously, we're going to have to craft base upgrades and all that jazz like that. Craft whatever other items we need, maybe an iron pick. That's usually the top things to sort of craft are going to be like picks, because that's what lets you pick the next level of material. We're also going to want probably a mace. If we can't get a mace to drop for us while we're running around clearing out all these crypts, then we'll craft one, because fighting Bonemass, having a mace is key, because he's weak to blunt. And while I do like the Stag Breaker, at this point the damage drop off. You don't need to do AoE damage on him. You'll see the fight. There are times when you do want to do some AoE damage, and so having Stag Breaker for that will be clutch. But otherwise, you know, for beating on Bonemass himself, you just want a really good, as high level mace as you can get. The other nice thing about having, I'll pull up my skills right now, is my club skill is at 23. So I already have a good skill for using maces, because it uses the club skill. And the reason why my skill is so high is because I've been using Stag Breaker all this time. So using Stag Breaker to wall up all the junk in the dungeons gives you that skill that when you need to switch over to a mace for fighting Bonemass, for example, you already have a solid skill up. All right, we're just going to clear this corner, and luckily we're not overburdened, because I haven't really finished building out my dock. That'll be the other thing that I'm going to finish up. I'll probably do that off recording, and then we'll talk about it next time. I really want to move the smelter to the other side, but for right now, I'm just going to chuck one thing in there. Actually, I'll fill it up. I already had coal in there ready to go, so this will pop out, teach us those recipes, and then we'll wrap up. I already kind of talked about what the next episode's going to be. If you have any questions or suggestions or whatnot, you know, definitely put that down in the chat. There we go. Let's pick it up. All right. Iron scale mail, iron armor, iron axe, accurate battle axe, huntsman bow. All these items now will be added to the drop pool for all the monsters that we fight. So we'll be able to pick up hopefully some new upgrades. We can get the stone cutter so we can start upgrading elements of our base to stone, etc. So overall, a really lucrative run. First jaunt into the swamp. We didn't die. We didn't. Oh, what the? Okay, hold on here. There's a guy who's got a bone to pick with me. I guess we'll end with that. We'll end with a little tiny taste of action here, buddy. Yeah. Oh man, I hit him good with that surprise blast. Now, yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I can take that swing. I will try to eat another regular one. That one I can take. Ooh. That Grey Dwarf, though. Oh, no room in the inventory because of that wood. That's the drawback of throwing your spear. God. That Grey Dwarf, though, man. He putting in work. All right. All right, well, I'll leave that for me to collect. Thanks again for hanging. I'll see you next time. Throw a like down there if you dug what I'm doing. And I will catch you later. Thanks. Take care.